Wheat is ready in July. So we'll harvest the wheat and then we'll have everything else to harvest, but that won't happen till later. I could track contracts. I'm really not. I was going to say I'm really not. Wow. Ploughing contracts. Pay lots of money. Yeah, it's going to take too long to do. Stone picking contracts, again, takes a long time to do because you have to figure out what to do with them all. Cultivating, however, 16,000. Oh, let's do that. It just gets me out there doing something, and I think my cultivator is 260 horsepower and 302 horsepower. I think we can do that with this one. Because I got myself a cultivator, so I might as well play around with it, I guess. Oh yeah, if I was doing a lot of work in one day, like harvesting every single field, I might consider sending the big tractor out with a plough, except I don't have the big tractor with a plough. So I would have to borrow their equipment, but I would still possibly entertain doing that task. I believe our there we go. Hang on. Oh, it's on the other side of the trees. Okay. Where do they want this? This field is grass. Does that mean that this field might stop being grass and become an arable field? Because if I cultivate this, technically the next thing it's going to need is seeding. I mean, they might just want to reseed the grass with fresh grass, because why not? They may also want to turn this into an arable field. Probably be a good arable field. It's quite long, straight. I should probably stop brewing my tea right about now. So yes, yeah, as far as the solar panel project is concerned, we should be getting an installation inspection to make sure it was installed all correctly. They have tested the panel output as far as the electrical box, but they're not allowed to turn it on until the electric company approves. And then they also have to get a city inspection to make sure everything's up to code. They did say that those two should happen within the next couple of weeks and on the same day. Not that that really matters to me because I work from home, so I'm going to be here anyway. I could do this with GPS guidance steering things. well, maybe I'll look into that. Let's steering assist, 2 headlands, okay. So yes, once the 2 inspections are complete, we've got to get permission to operate from the electric company, and then we will have solar power during winter. Which, yeah, that's not going to do much for us this year. But going forward, we should be producing more electricity than we use in a year, which then means that the excess goes to the electric company. They credit us with electricity we generate at a lesser rate, and then they give us a rebate on the electricity that we use. So we're using electricity at night time, and we're using grid electricity at night time. We'll be using grid electricity when the days are dark, the panels are covered in snow. Yeah, all that sort of palaver. So yeah, there are down times. We elected not to go with batteries at this time, although that also becomes an option of just installing a battery wall in the garage, charging the batteries up, and then drawing house power from the batteries, which would kind of make our emergency generator slightly less useful. Because obviously, if you're not drawing from mains power, the thing is because the solar panels have to be connected to the mains, and they turn off when there's a power outage. So if local electric company is not providing us with power, our solar panels shut down, or they generate power, but they don't. They disconnect from the house because the linemen don't want to get electrocuted by excess power coming in from generation sources in the powerless district. So we have emergency power backup, a natural gas generator that generates power when the mains goes out. So we would still need that, although I do believe if we got a battery system, then the solar panels charge the battery system. When the batteries are full, they charge the mains. If there's a power outage, then the solar panels just power the house, charge the batteries, and then excess power gets lost. And then but it would mean we could, they can carry on charging. But then we don't need the natural gas generator because we've always got power in batteries. It doesn't matter if the mains goes out. The solar panels will not be feeding the mains directly. They'll be feeding the batteries, and we'll be drawing power from the batteries. So, yeah. All the things, all the stuff, all the fun. But since I'm kind of getting closer to retirement, I mean, it's like, you spend so much of your time thinking, oh, retirement is such a long distance time away. It's like 2030, I'm 65. I could retire at that point. Now, I know official retirement age by that point will be 67. But if you've been wise with your retirement and what have you, then you're going to have enough money to live off for the rest of your life. You can retire. Retirement isn't an age. Retirement is a when you can afford it situation. So if you can't afford to retire, you're going to be working as a greeter in Walmart or something. If you find that nobody in your career actually wants to hire you because you're too old and you're too much of a risk of not providing a good return on their headhunting exercises. So that's a thing that am I doing 22, probably possibly 23%? No, yes, 23%. Ooh my. Lift that up. And I will cut in for the second headland right there. So yeah, so that's all coming up sometime sooner or later. The only other concern is if you retire early, you can't get government paid health care until 65. So you're going to have to pay for health insurance, quite heavily for health insurance, until you hit 65. And then you get old people health insurance. Yeah, as I said, that's all yet to come. I think we figured out, theoretically, we could afford to live if I retired at 62. But the longer I work for, the more we have in retirement accounts. Oops. And thus, the more money we'll have in retirement. So it's kind of a little bit of a battle with, oops, wrong. Yeah, you want enough money to live on, but then the longer you work, the more money you'll have to live on. But anyway, that's all around the corner. So, what else has happened this week? So I got myself a set of jeweler's pliers, which were delayed because Amazon's big internet outage stopped all their boxes moving, because trucks can't move when there's no internet, apparently. So that arrived a day later than expected. Was it Amazon? No, that was UPS. Still arrived a day later than expected. The Amazon thing was scheduled to arrive sometime before the 3rd of November. That arrived on Wednesday, so that's good. And I've got everything I need to wire up 4 of the turnouts now. So I've started working on that. It's not it's not an imperative, I've got to get this done, I've got to get this done. So it's kind of a slow job, but I am slowly working on that. But with the set of jeweler's pliers, I could make some adjustments to the couplings between the cars, which I'm using US couplings on UK vehicles, and the little metal bar that hangs down a little bit too low. So the jeweler's pliers are used to bend them up a little bit. And I didn't know they were a thing, and I didn't know that I needed them, but it's good that I have them. So I spent yesterday evening adjusting every single piece of equipment. I think I missed two, but I adjusted every single coupling, so they now clear the tracks when they're going over the turnouts, which is a good thing. And I've also discovered I've got a power outage on part of the layout, so I've got to do some investigation work this afternoon to figure out where the power's not going to, and then figure out I'm probably going to do a jumper cable between a point where there is power to the point where there isn't power, because the point where there isn't power is in what's going to be a large hill with the tracks running underneath it in a tunnel. So it's not vitally important that everything looks like it should. Normally you don't want bits of wire just lying around on the scenery to provide power from point A to point B. But since this is going to be a hidden section in a tunnel, I can put a jumper lead in, and everything will be fine. At least in theory. But as I said, I've got to figure out where I have power and where I don't have power, which means I'm going to have to find an electrical tester. I've got some. Mrs. Osa keeps buying me useful tools for my birthday and Christmas, and it's like, yes, that'll be really handy one day when I actually need it. So I put it in a box, and now I have to find out which box it's in. But as I said, I do have some electrical testers, so I just have to fish one out, see if it's still working. So that's a task for this afternoon. And maybe some more things. Don't know. Don't need to go shopping, which makes a change. Normally I need to go shopping at the weekend. The car is in for a service. The car service might be done. They phoned at 4:30, but I wasn't at my desk, so I missed the call. Also, my phone got switched to mute, which is rather annoying because I didn't do it. And I don't know what caused it. I've got my phone is set for do not disturb, and that runs from 10 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning, because quite frankly I need to be able to sleep, and nothing at my job requires me to be available at midnight. I have had jobs in the past where I am required to be available at midnight, but most of the time, no. I do not need to be available at midnight, so I can have a do not disturb running. So I have the do not disturb running from 10 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning. And then and that should work, but it would appear that sometimes it just puts the sleep mode into a do not. Well, the sleep mode is it basically turns on do not disturb on the phone, and I think that sometimes at 7 o'clock in the morning it does not turn off do not disturb, and when it misses that trigger, the do not disturb switches to do not disturb until I turn this off. And I never manually turn on do not disturb. So the phone just says, oh, you've got to turn off this do not disturb manually. And I don't think I need to do it because I didn't manually turn it on. So that's a bit of a problem. Go down here. Turn around and do that little bit there. So anyway, I've had a week off work and my phone has been on do not disturb all week. So that's all fun. But Mrs. Oster figures it out for me, and now my phone rings when it's supposed to, and beeps when it's supposed to, even when I don't want it to. It will. But there is the possibility that I got a call from the shop to say, yes, my car, blah, 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 come pick it up. And I will need to go and do that, probably on Monday. And I'm working on Monday, so... Oh, that reminds me, I've got to book time off for Mrs. Osa's having her eyes checked, and they dilate her eyes, so she needs a driver. So I am going to have to book a day off for that, which gives me a day off to do things. Like I said, I got a ton of days off in the bank, so I can take time off and just rest and relax. Like I said, that's all I did this week was sleep, watch some things on TV, watch lots of YouTube videos, and just relax and not worry about anything. So that's all good. And then what's going to happen?